Hello guys. This week I figured I'd take a break at looking at the predators of yesteryears and look at a story that's a little more recent and a little more local. And by that, I mean it actually took place in my own state of Arizona. We're going to look at the case of Brittany Zamora. Before we start, I just want to state that this is definitely one of the worst predator cases I've ever seen in my life. It's not the worst one I'll ever cover. Believe me, if we ever make it to 500 subs, we'll cover that one in a special. But this one definitely ranks high up there. The story starts here in sunny, steaming hot Arizona. Brittany was a 6th grade teacher at Las Brisas Academy in Goodyear, about a good hour away from where this video is being produced. From her background alone, Brittany was nothing short of a successful young woman. She had a rough childhood, but that didn't stop her from climbing to the top of her class and even graduating from ASU with high honors. She then went on to marry a man who deeply loved her, and the fact that their wedding song was an R. Kelly track is nothing short of the irony that would follow. While Brittany didn't lead a perfect life, it was still a pretty damn good one, given everything she had going for her. This leads us to 2018, where Brittany would make an unbelievable series of decisions that would not only destroy her life, but her marriage, her career, and the lives of 2 young boys and their respective families. As stated before, Brittany was a 6th grade teacher, and from most of the hindsight-free bias that I was able to sift through, it would appear that she was pretty well loved by her kids and she had a great relationship with them. One day while out from work, Brittany messaged her class through the app they shared that she was going to be going out, and they were more than free to message her about anything. Well, one person did. As of this day, the boy's identity is still confidential, but it can't be understated that he was her first victim. So we'll just refer to him in the meantime as, Adam. By the way, I'm sorry if that is his first name, but I'm going with Adam to avoid having to say victim A the whole time. Adam reached out to Brittany and they started to chat quite a bit, and it wasn't long before Brittany confessed her undying love for the boy. From there, it didn't take long for things to turn physical. According to Adam, he remembers giving her a hug only for her to start kissing him, to which he started kissing her back. At this point, Brittany became borderline obsessed with Adam. During his police interview, he describes a time in which he was staying over at his grandparents' house in Tolleson. Not too far from Goodyear, but a bit of a drive. Adam said that Brittany was texting him, begging to see him. So he gave her the address of his grandparents' home, only for Brittany to literally drive there in the middle of the night. Once she arrived, she told him to come out to her car, and once he got in, she violated him. It kills me to say this, but the abuse didn't end there. Adam recalls another time when Brittany was in attendance at a school talent show. After the show was over, she went up to him and started kissing him, and she asked if he wanted to go in.
We were doing a talent show thing, and I was saying bye. Me and my friend were about to walk, and I was saying bye, and then I grabbed my backpack, and my friend was messing with her computer, and then she's kissing me and everything, and she was like, you want to go in? And I was like, what? And she's like, you want to go in? And I was like, sure. And then the same thing, I didn't take my pants off or anything, but she was wearing a dress, so she just pulled her underwear to the side, and then I was in there for a minute, and then I was I don't know, I was like, alright, I gotta
go. I still can't believe that this story is even real, and that a grown woman in a position of power was able to say that to a young boy, let alone her own student. It's around this point that Brittany's second victim comes into play. We'll call him Ben. How Ben got involved in the situation is a bit hazy, but what he went through was just as horrific. Ben was also interviewed by the police, where he describes being the lookout for Brittany and Adam every time she brought him into the classroom to have sex.
I was one of the witnesses, or one of the people that saw Ms. Zamora and my friend touch each other.
Was Miss Zamora saying anything?
No, they're just doing it. It was very uncomfortable. So that's why the second day they're doing stuff, I just left the room.
What's awful about this, aside from what was happening in the door behind him, was how he describes it. He was a child too, and while Brittany may not have violated him in the same way she did with Adam, she still ripped away his innocence. Ben also describes a time when Brittany approached him asking if he had ever been circumcised. And when Ben claimed that he didn't know what she meant by that, she got on her computer and showed him multiple images of what she was talking about. Again, I can't believe that she was a real person or that she actually did this. I don't know what bent Brittany's mind out of shape and made her think that this was appropriate behavior. She was an educated woman. She knew better, but she did it anyway. But like with all criminals, it's not a matter of if you'll get caught, but rather when it'll happen. And for Brittany, it happened at a pace faster than she was expecting. While teaching with Adam in attendance, many of her students took notice of the way she treated him and all the attention he got from her. They took their concerns to the principal, who didn't do anything at first, believing it to be kids trying to stir up rumors. It should also be noted that Brittany had a close relationship with the principal, as he was the one who hired her straight out of graduating from ASU, and he even offered her a teaching position at the new school he was transferring to. But the classroom kids weren't the only ones who were starting to take notice. Adam's parents had an app installed on his phone, one that alerted them every time certain phrases or repeated words were used. In this case, the word baby was a popular word that showed up time and time again on their son's device. The device also gave them insight into his phone's messages, and after looking through his conversations with Brittany, it was pretty clear to them what was going on here. They reached out to Adam and he confessed that he and Brittany were in fact carrying on a sexual relationship. From here, Adam's parents called Brittany, and before they knew it, they were having a conversation with both her and her husband. Throughout the conversation, Brittany was nothing short of unapologetic. She treated the situation as if she had been caught by a hit-and-run victim she tried to escape, not the parents of a boy she had been abusing.
What type of perverted person are you? I want to know right now.
A father demanding a response from his son's 6th grade teacher.
You're a child molester. Do you understand me? No.
Why do you say that?
Oh, see, I'm a lot smarter than you.
Can we meet, to talk about this?
Miss-
Something we can settle out, outside?
Oh yeah, that's what we can do so I can give you a chance to do it to some other kid. Yeah, that's exactly what we're gonna do. No. And make sure you tell your husband what's going on.
Her husband did everything they could to keep the parents from ruining her life and even tried to settle this matter privately. Needless to say, that didn't happen.
She's done so much and she made a huge mistake. The biggest mistake of anybody could ever make in the whole entire world. But she think about, God preaches forgiveness, man.
Your wife decided to be a monster and prey on a child. She scarred my son mentally. Do you understand what a 13-year-old boy did? Having sex with a teacher? Do you get that at all? Do me a favor. Do not call this number back again. The next time you'll hear from me will be in court.
It wasn't long before Brittany was arrested while on her way to school. She gave a brief interview with the police before being escorted to jail. She claimed that she had the best husband in the world.
I'm the best husband in the world.
Yeah, it's pretty clear at this point Brittany Zamora only sees one victim in this whole case. Brittany Zamora. At Brittany's hearing, Adam's parents described her as a monster who gave no pause or even rational thought to the things she put their son through. She robbed him of his innocence. It might have potentially damaged him going forward. Adam's mother even stated that she hopes Brittany will never have children of her own. And when the sentence was passed, Adam's mother got her wish. Brittany was sentenced to 20 years behind bars. By the time she gets out, Brittany will be a woman in her late 40s. Almost immediately after being sentenced, Brittany's lawyer made a public statement. She tried to undermine all the damage that Brittany had wrought and instead tried to paint her as a pawn in a much larger conspiracy. She claimed that Brittany was the victim of some convoluted plan involving Adam and his parents. She said that while Brittany did engage in sex with the boy, that Adam was actually using this intimacy as an opportunity to find identifying marks on her body for, I honestly don't fucking know. If you can't make yourself believe it, then how do you expect others to?
The teenage boy was very aggressive. He even was very persistent in asking Brittany about her birthmarks, molars, or anything else that could be an identifiable piece of information.
What made this whole statement even more egregious was that her lawyer kept referring to Adam as a teenager, not a child, as the media and courts portrayed it.
Britney is not a predator. And this was not between a young child and Britney. This was a teenager. The teenager had boundary issues.
Yeah, I have literally no problem saying that Britney's lawyer was every bit as morally bankrupt as she was. The fact that she tried to blame the real victim of this crime is nothing short of disgusting.
Are you guys really blaming a 13-year-old boy as the victim in this case?
That's not what I said.
Are you honestly saying that Brittany was the victim? You just gonna read that and walk away?
It should be noted that not too long after her sentencing, Britney filed for divorce from her husband. He stood by her all this time. He forgave her for something that was beyond forgiveness. And in the end, she left him. I can't really fault him too hard for the decisions he made while with her, but I do hope he's living a better life and that he in no way blames himself for his ex-wife's selfish decisions. And that's ultimately where the story ends. Britney is still locked up. In the same facility that also houses Jodi Arias, mind you. In the end, it just seems like such a waste. She had nothing short of a promising career. But she threw it all away. And for what? For what? Again, I don't know what it was that made Britney this way. Maybe some switch flicked off in her mind one day, or maybe this is who she always was and she was just that good at hiding it. Either way, she's gone for now. And when she gets released, it'll be too soon. That's all for this week. If there's a topic you want me to cover, let me know down below. Until then, I'll see you next time.